From Cedar Rapids, Iowa, welcome to Pinnacle Combat 17. The wait is over. I'm Dean Michael, and I'm joined by Justin Taylor. And Justin, normally when we do these intros, we'll talk about where we're at first. I wanted to mention Pinnacle Combat first because I want to make a greater point of where we're at on this show. We're making a big step up. Promoter Harry McGlaris stepping up to the plate with a brand new venue this time.
Yeah, he sure did. We don't get much bigger than this for Pinnacle. This is our biggest venue here so far, down here at Cedar Rapids at the U.S. Cellular Center. Yeah, Harry's outdone himself this time here, and I'm looking forward to a great night of fights.
All right, we have 4 title fights that are up for grabs tonight. First, we'll start out with the amateur fights. It's a lightweight title fight with Grinstead and Nunez.
Yeah, Dalton Grinstead's fought for us a few times. So far, he's undefeated. He's one of those tough guys out of Guttenberg, Iowa. His teammate's going to be fighting later on for a belt. He's fighting Pedro Nunez. Last time we saw him in the Pinnacle cage, he actually suffered a horrendous hip injury, and his fight ended a little bit early. So it's great to see him back, full health again here and ready to go. This should be a great fight.
Our other amateur fight, it's a featherweight title fight, Pierce versus Brannick.
Right, speaking of Guttenberg, Iowa, Nick Pierce coming to us from Guttenberg, Iowa, our current champion. Both these guys are coming in at 4-1. I know Nick's looking to defend his belt. Brannick's a good wrestler. I believe he's a state qualifier. So this might be the typical stand-up fighter with Nick and a ground fighter, freestyle fighter with Jacob.
All right, and of course we have our pro fights tonight. 2 title belts up for grabs. The welterweight title fight, Stoddard versus Bailey.
This one's got fireworks written all over it. Of course, everybody knows Mark Stoddard. He's been our champion for a while. All he does is come in and beats everybody we put in front of him. Tonight, he might have one of his toughest challenges. He's got UFC vet Shamar Bailey. He's come to us from a couple fights from the UFC. He's come from the UFC house. Big guy. He's definitely got the size on Mark, so we'll see how Mark handles that. This will be a great fight.
And of course, we're looking forward to our Bantamweight title fight. This is kind of the grudge match that people have been looking for, and these fighters have been looking for as well, and that's Camry versus Schumacher.
Boy, the roof might blow off this place when Adam Schumacher walks out of here, but not in the good way we're used to. This could possibly be the first time we hear Adam Schumacher walk out to boos in the Pinnacle cage. We're down here in Cedar Rapids, Hard Drive's backyard finally, and this is a fight everyone's wanted for 5 or 6 years. Hasn't materialized. Tonight we get it. Hard Drive versus Adam Schumacher.
All right, Pinnacle Combat 17. The wait is over. Cedar Rapids, Iowa, the U.S. Cellular Center. We're looking forward to it. We'll get it started next.
This is another championship event that will go 5 3-minute rounds. And now let's introduce the principals in the fight. First of all, in the blue corner, the challenger. He comes to us from Rapid City, South Dakota, specializing in freestyle. Out of dynamic martial arts with a record of 5 wins, 1 loss. He weighs 142 1/2 pounds. This is Jacoby Brannick. And now in the red corner, our Pinnacle Combat champion. He has a record of 4 wins and 1 loss. Weighing 145 pounds, the amateur featherweight champion, Nick Pierce.
So we are set for a featherweight championship fight. Nick Pierce, Jacoby Brannick.
Yeah, Brannick, if he wins the belt tonight, he'll be taking it off to boot camp with him because he's recently enlisted in the Army. But yeah, he brings a 5-1 record here. This kid was born a month after I graduated high school, which is, you know, the moment you first felt old. Yeah, right now. So he's just tough, man. He's, like I said, he's 5-1. He trains at Dynamic Martial Arts. He spent 3 years there with his coach Josh Usera. So just well-rounded. He was a pretty decorated high school wrestler, and he kicks. They said he kicks just like crazy and has just really straight, fast punches. So kind of sounds like Nick Pierce to me.
Yeah, you alluded to that. He sounds like a mirror image of Nick Pierce, actually. Just a little bit younger, great Muay Thai striker, great on the ground. You know, these guys both look like they're in shape. I can't imagine cardio is going to be an issue if it goes the distance. So this is a fight that, you know, maybe a potential fight of the night candidate early on.
So Nick Pierce in the gray shorts, Jacoby Brannick in the black shorts. Pierce with a takedown.
Wow, he ducked that punch perfectly and went for that takedown. That was nice.
Brannick trying to keep him close.
You know, as it was mentioned in the opening there, Nick is a Gracie blue belt. You know, so that doesn't come real easy getting that. We've got another young fighter, as you alluded to, 18, already got 6 fights under his belt. This is his 7th fight at 18. Again, I don't know how this happens.
Yeah, he said he's fought a lot of ballroom shows. He's not used to a big arena like this, and you know, crowds he fights in front of are usually half this size. So we'll see if that comes into play here. He's just been in awe of our whole production, our setup, and everything, and I really don't think it's bothering him. He came out swinging, and you know, he's working to get back up off his back. So
Nick Pierce able to push away, get a couple shots in there. Jacoby pulling him back in.
That is something I like to see when we got some guys that come in who've never dealt with Pinnacle before. They come in, they see, you know, Pinnacle Combat, they see the big cage, the big arena, they see 9-print productions with this big production value. And like you said, in those ballroom shows, you don't really get that. You're lucky if you have a doctor cage side most of the time in those shows.
So yeah, especially in South Dakota, as they just recently started sanctioning MMA up there. Just started this year.
So the nerves going to play a part as they come out here, or after this gets started, they're going to settle in?
I would think his nerves are probably gone at this point. He's just kind of in his mode now. I think the first punch or two, I think those go out the window.
I think there we saw the case of the position before submission there. Brandon went for an armbar and wound up giving up all the way to back mount. Kind of held a little bit long. Kind of the opposite of what we said about Grinstead. Now he's in a bad spot.
Pierce with both hooks in there, looking to flatten him out. He's got his armor on there, looking for that choke.
Brannick doing a nice job of attacking the top hand, pulling it off. See, he knows what he's doing there, too. His coach spoke very highly of him, and I tell you, dealing with this kid, he drove all the way from South Dakota, came in comfortably a couple pounds underweight just to make sure that he'd make weight. His contracts and stuff were in fast, and it's just been a pleasure to work with, and put up a really tough first round against one of our favorites here, Nick Pierce.
So that's the end of our first round, a 5-round title fight. It's a featherweight belt that's up for grabs. We get started with the second round, featherweight title fight, Nick Pierce and Jacoby Brannick. First round going down to the canvas. We start out the second round the same way the first round started, as both fighters with a stand-up, sizing each other up once again.
I know Brannick had a sore hand from training, having a hard time figuring out which one it is because he's throwing both just fine, so it doesn't appear to be bothering him at all.
Pierce initially with a combination there, but now following it up with just straight kicks.
Hey, you watch both these guys just kind of sit in the pocket. They don't turn their faces when punches are thrown. They're remaining calm. So, you know, that kind of shows the experience these two have. Nice block on that head kick.
Brannick moving in with a flurry, now going after the takedown, looking for that top control.
He's looking to do what he can to end this fight. We'll see how Nick is off his back now.
Pierce looking to get that leg around, looking for that leg lock.
It's a nice triangle there.
A couple of fights end this way tonight.
Bad spot to be in if you're fighting a guy named Nick Pierce. Nice slam by Brannick there is an instinct. A lot of times it winds up letting him tighten up the hold a little better, so it's not always your best option. Brannick still, you know, still improving, still. Oh,
there
it is. Spoke too soon.
Pierce was able to get more pressure on there, get his hand up on his foot with that triangle and the submission. Nick Pierce defends his title, featherweight title, and retains the belt for this class. Moves on to a record of 5-1. Jacoby Brannick falls to 5-2 now. So Nick Pierce from Guttenberg, Iowa, defending that title.
It's going to be a full trunk on the way back to Guttenberg tonight. 2 of those big belts in there.
Absolutely.
At 1 minute and 46 seconds of the second round, referee Tom Grubb has halted the fight due to tap out caused by a triangle choke, and still the champion of Pinnacle Combat, Nick Pierce.
All right, Nick, impressive title defense there. Are we going to have to start calling Guttenberg, Iowa a title town or what?
I suppose so.
You have any special thank yous you want to throw out there?
I'd really like to thank all my sponsors, my teammates, my trainers, and most of all, my family and my girlfriend that sacrifice all the time that I spend in the gym. I really do appreciate all of that. I love all you guys.
Nick, as always, it's a pleasure to have you here in our Pinnacle Combat cage. Congrats on the title defense. Hope to see you come back and defend it again in January. What do you think?
Let's do it.
This is Pinnacle Combat.
Dalton Grinstead has impressed by consistently winning as he climbs the lightweight amateur ranks. With a vast array of jiu-jitsu skills, he holds an impressive wrestling background as he looks to take on Pedro Nunez, who's a polished wrestler. With the resume of beating up the bigger boys at 185, he's now coming down to pick on the smaller guys and claim the amateur lightweight strap.
My name's Dalton Grinstead. I train out of the gym with Team No Limit. Consider myself a freestyle fighter, so I train every aspect: wrestling, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, a little bit of everything. I think Pinnacle runs a great show. From what I've seen on other shows, I think they are a notch above the rest. I know Pedro's fought for Pinnacle once, and he was injured during the fight. Fought for another title shot and won at 170. Now he's going to try to cut down to my weight class and contend for my belt.
My name is Pedro Nunez, and I'm from Columbus Junction, Iowa. I train with the American Pit Fighters out of Burlington, Iowa. We work a lot of jiu-jitsu, wrestling, stand-up, kickboxing, Muay Thai. We go as hard as we can every time we practice. Pinnacle is a great organization to fight for. Harry McGlaris is a great promoter. Being viewed nationwide, it's a great feeling. My opponent is Dalton Grinstead.
So far, none of my opponents have made it out of the second round.
Because I won by TKO, won by submission, I won by decisions.
He might want to be looking for a different weight class to go to.
I'm going to be the one who's going to be walking out with that 155-pound belt.
I hope he expects an all-out war.
Okay, now to the principals that will be vying for this belt. In the blue corner, he comes to us from Columbus Junction, Iowa, specializing in freestyle with a record of 6 wins and 3 losses, weighing 159 1/2 pounds, Pedro Nunez. And in the red corner, he holds a blue belt in jiu-jitsu with a record of 3 wins and no losses. He's undefeated, vying for the lightweight belt tonight. Here is Dalton Grinstead. This fight is scheduled for 5 3-minute rounds.
So the introductions of our fighters for this lightweight title fight. The 24-year-old Dalton Grinstead out of Guttenberg, Iowa, and the 21-year-old Pedro Nunez out of Columbus Junction, Iowa.
Yeah, Pedro's had quite a few more fights than Dalton. A lot of his wins, he's known to just, he gets a takedown, he just grinds and grinds. He's one of those wrestlers that he scores from the top. You know, he kind of takes the life out of them.
One thing to note, though, with Dalton is his 3-0 MMA record. He actually goes to grappling tournaments constantly. You know, all over the Midwest. You know, every time I see him, he's off to some other tournament. So he does have a lot of experience on the ground, as we're going to get an opportunity to see here, it looks like.
Looks like he's fishing for an armbar from the back there.
He's not a guy you want on top of you wrapped around your neck.
Yeah, Pedro rolls out there and gets his head out. I think he's set up for an armbar pretty tight there. He's doing a really good job of keeping his hands locked, not giving it up. Grinstead like a leech there. What Pedro needs to do there is try to create some space, and if he can get a hold of Grinstead's head, it's textbook high school wrestling there, and come out the back door, we call it. Popping his head out the back there. Looks like that armbar is still a threat.
So I hear members of the crowd yelling, "Shake him off, Pedro," as if it's an easy task.
Exactly.
Pedro may have given himself a little bit extra room in there, but he's not free yet. I'd like to see Dalton maybe throw some punches while he's up there in that position.
So Nunez
able to get his head out there, but Grinstead now getting on his back, getting the arm around his neck.
You'll see both of them fighting there with their legs. You know, Dalton trying to get his hooks in to get that dominant control, and Pedro doing everything he can to keep those legs from getting out underneath there.
Nunez has a hold of that arm, looking at pulling him around.
Nick, how much of this, with these guys working this hard, it doesn't look like it from, the crowd's perspective, but these guys are working hard in there. This is going to take a toll on them for a 5-round fight.
Yeah, they both had their hands locked quite a bit, and that just wears on your forearms and all the way up through your shoulders. You get real heavy hands later in the fight, and it's just your punches get a lot slower.
With a guy like Pedro, he's carrying around a little bit more weight, a lot more weight. He had a bigger weight cut, so that could actually come in to hurt him down the road possibly.
Grinstead with one hook, with the leg through there.
The two things with the fatigue, like Justin was talking about, you got Pedro holding all of Grinstead's weight pretty much the whole round, so that's going to wear a guy out. But then Grinstead with back mount there, it takes so much core strength to maintain that.
And that's the end of our first round in this title fight. So how would you call that one, guys?
Well, Grinstead wasn't just in a dominant position there. He was, a judge knows that he was threatening the whole time with that arm bar, and Pedro was smart enough, seasoned enough to know not to just pop his head out there. He knew what he was fishing for. Both these guys are wrestlers, going to be something they've been through before, so. I know Pedro's been there before, and, we could totally affect him, and it may not at all, so we'll see.
Oh, a nice hook there.
Nice.
Second round of a lightweight title fight. Dalton Grinstead and Pedro Nunez.
So we see almost the exact opposite here to start round 2 of what we got in round 1.
Grinstead with the black shorts, Nunez with the black shorts and the yellow
Pedro
trim.
Jumped a wizard there. There's high school wrestling, that one of your big no-nos. Good enough position there to not let it affect him. Comes right back up to his feet, and we're standing and trading again. I think his high school wrestling coach, Bill Plain, would be pretty upset that he jumped that wizard.
Explain the wizard to some of us that might not know what it is. We hear that being yelled at all the time at shows. What is the wizard exactly?
It's whizzer, and it's basically the guy has his arm over the other guy's back. They're facing the same direction, and then to defend, the guy will basically overhook it with his arm, and either guy in that position, you don't want to step over the top of your opponent because they can flop you right to your back. So
the flip
Nunez
of the first
landing some leather here from the top. This is what a lot of his fights have looked like, and he's finished a lot of bigger guys, 185ers right here. So Grinstead, with that grappling background, he's doing a solid job there of trying to get out.
And this is a flip so far, though, of this first round, with Nunez now with this top control and getting Grinstead over against the cage.
Yeah, it's definitely Pedro's turn around too here to kind of give Dalton a taste of his own medicine, it looks like here. And I apologize, wizard, so us non-wrestlers.
It's like round 1 was textbook Grinstead, and it looks like round 2 is textbook Nunez.
Got a quick stoppage, looks like a mouthpiece came out earlier. A lot of guys like to insist that I think it's rinsed off, but Dalton chose just to shove it back in his mouth.
Yeah, I just want to go back and fight. Some guys use it as a chance to catch their breath, and Grinstead's a fighter. He just wanted to get back in there and try to get out.
Closing in on 30 seconds remaining in this second round of a 5-round bout. Nunez maintaining that top control.
I feel like maybe Dalton's going to try and use that cage to push off of it and get out of there.
15 seconds.
We look for a flurry here to end the round from Pedro.
That's the end of our second round of our lightweight title fight. Dalton Grinstead and Pedro Nunez. And I have to say, it's impressive. Pedro Nunez, after that injury a year ago, he's been very solid. Lots of confidence.
Yeah, that's something that's hard to shake. I mean, you see it in all sports, you know, guys will get an ACL tear or something like this. I mean, he I believe, completely ripped that hip out of socket. It was a pretty nasty injury. And yeah, he seems to be back with no side effects.
The beginning of our third round now. Dalton Grinstead, Pedro Nunez. A vacant title on the line. And as Justin, you had mentioned, we're expecting more stand-up as we get started here in this third round.
Yeah, I would think to see some of that. And there's be a little bit more caution, I believe, to not want to get taken down. Both guys have proven if I take you down, you're not getting back up. So we'll see how that transpires.
And Pedro didn't really commit to that shot there, and it wound up getting him in the front headlock. Something you see a little more in the amateurs, and the pros do a lot better job of taking those out of the equation. A lot of times it can cost the guy the fight. And he's in a pretty bad spot here. No, he's not bad, but he's Grinstead nice. Had taken back mount, and Pedro rolls right through.
You can see Dalton grabbing and almost pulling him into him to try and get that position. Just calm down there and trying to maneuver him around how he wants him.
Pedro keeping control on that hand, though.
Yeah, there was
allowing
some great
himself
defense.
to get back on his legs, back up on his feet.
Nice.
Nunez with a couple of left hooks on the side of the face of Grinstead. Now Grinstead taking control, taking Nunez down to the surface.
It's a nice hip toss there by Grinstead, and he gets rolled right through by Nunez.
Yeah, he waited till that moment where Grinstead was waiting to do the full mount. As soon as he had that balance, I think he felt it and just shifted him right off him.
This is a great fight so far as they go back and forth.
I think both guys have been, if they take a breather, the other guy winds up getting him in a bad spot, and they need to maybe that could wind up being the difference of the fight.
Grinstead moves to the back of Nunez now.
One thing I like with Dalton is he starts going for a submission, realizes pretty quickly if he's going to get it or not, and when he realizes he's not going to get it, he doesn't expend any energy on it, where some of the newer amateurs or the guys with less experience, they go for something they're never going to get and burn up their arms.
I think you just saw that. Grinstead going for that arm bar, trying to leverage that. It wasn't there yet.
Yeah, one of my coaches, and back in the day when I first started, and he's one of our referees, Brian Bressler, always had a saying, position before submission, and these guys are doing a great job of that. Grinstead especially, when he goes for something, he makes sure to not give up position if he doesn't have the hold.
1 minute remaining in this third round.
I want to give the Cedar Rapids crowd a little bit of credit. A lot of times you see a fight go 3 rounds on the mat. Most of you hear a lot of boos and things like that. We don't have a lot of that going on tonight, so credit to the crowd down here in Cedar Rapids.
I look around this crowd, and I know half of them, and a lot of them have trained MMA, or they come from a wrestling background, or see people I know from all other sports around here. Kid I played high school football against is over there in the front row, and it's just like a pretty learned crowd. A lot of athletes wanting to see our athletes showcase a little MMA action here.
So that's the end of our third round. It's a lightweight title fight from our amateur division with Pinnacle Combat. All right, we get set for the fourth round. Lightweight title fight, vacant belt. Both of these fighters have shown so far they want it. Dalton Grinstead and Pedro Nunez.
Pedro swinging for the fences on that one there.
Noticed every punch he seems to do that. He throws them all with bad intentions.
Dalton needs to set those kicks up. If he just starts throwing those kicks out there, Pedro will time and probably drop him.
We already saw that once tonight, didn't we?
We sure did.
Nunez shoots in for that leg. Dalton wraps around on the backside.
I thought Nunez was maybe getting the better of him. I don't know if he didn't like those kicks, but the hands I think he's getting the better of. I was surprised he shot when he did.
Some wrestlers, they just revert back to their base, and could just be reflex.
Both fighters locking it up.
You can see they're right down in Dalton's corner there. He's getting some instructions from his trainers there.
Grinstead able to pull that right hand out and was able to get a couple of licks in on the right side.
Fishing for that armbar again.
Nunez makes a roll, but Dalton able to get his back. Now going for that neck. He's got him locked up pretty good here with the leg lock.
Pretty tight triangle there.
Oh, there we've got a tap. Nunez taps out Dalton Grinstead.
What a great fight that was by both guys. I want to give it up for Mindprint Productions as well. This fight was on the ground the entire time, so from our vantage point, it's a little hard to see, but they've got cameras everywhere, provide us with a monitor up here in the booth.
And I think that was important with this fight. As you had mentioned, you know, some fans may get a little excited because there wasn't a ton of action when they were on the canvas, but at the same time, to a technical extent, as each fighter looking for that new move.
Yeah, well, and like I said, with the production company here doing their part, you're giving the crowd a different perspective. You know, if their back's up to you, you're not seeing anything, so the camera lets you see the front of the fight and the action.
So Dalton Grinstead taking advantage of Pedro Nunez coming up with a win, the lightweight title fight, and wins that vacant belt.
Your winner and the new amateur lightweight Pinnacle Combat champion by virtue of triangle choke, this is Dalton Grinstead.
Hey, Dalton, you're bringing another belt back to Guttenberg. What do you guys say up there? You run your record to 4-0 now. Want to tell us about your you beat the streets wrestling?
Yeah, I run a not-for-profit wrestling program in Dubuque. Just getting kids off the streets and on the wrestling mat, keep them out of trouble.
All right, Dalton, you do a lot of good things for those kids. You've done a lot of good things in our cage. We got a newcomer. We just saw a fight tonight, Chance Krutzinger. I'd like to talk to you about January 24th, Dubuque. Promoter Harry McGlaris here.
Yeah, we already talked about it. And January 24th at the Five Flags Arena. We're going to make this match. You guys saw Chase Krutzinger earlier tonight put on an impressive performance and win. What do you guys think? You guys want to do it?
I'd love to.
Chance?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What do you got to say? What do you think of this? You saw him fight?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready.
You saw him fight, Chance. What do you think about him? What about his style? Can you beat him?
He's a good fighter, but I feel good, too. This is what I trained for. I love this. This is it right here.
January 24th, everybody. Dubuque, Iowa, Five Flags Center.
This is Pinnacle Combat.
Mark Stoddard has conquered the welterweight division as he simultaneously holds 3 belts. But Shamar Bailey is no ordinary opponent. This ex-UFC vet has all the tools and the pedigree to end Stoddard's reign.
My name's Shamar Bailey. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. I train with Team Top Notch and multiple gyms out of Indianapolis. My strengths are in wrestling, boxing, ground and pound. I'm excited to fight for Pinnacle. My understanding is a big show, especially in Iowa, so I'm looking forward to stepping into the Pinnacle cage. I don't know too much about my opponent. I know his name's Mark Stoddard. I don't think he has the tools to keep me from doing my job, though.
I'm Mark Stoddard. I train out of Clinton, Iowa, Lions Taekwondo, Conquest MMA, and Ground Wizards. We do striking, bags, mitts, get gritty, grimy, strength conditioning a couple times a week. I love fighting for Pinnacle, man. They always put on good shows. They give me tough opponents, and you know, I go out there and I have fun. Seen a few videos with Shamar, not really anything in depth.
Mark knows what he's getting himself into. There's no way you can be ready for what you're going to see in person.
I've come to like the belt. Got a nice little spot up on my mantle on my fireplace.
Both have a job to do, and I don't think he's going to stop me from doing my job.
We're going to go in there, have fun, party each other's faces off.
Let's go. Let's go, Mark.
And now to the participants in this championship fight. Fighting out of the blue corner, this is the challenger. He weighs 170 pounds, specializing in freestyle, fighting for Team Top Notch. He is an NCAA Wrestling National Qualifier and a 3-time UFC veteran with a professional record of 16 wins, 10 losses. From Indianapolis, Indiana, this is Shamar Bailey. And now, for the champion. He hails from Clinton, Iowa, considers himself an opportunist. He fights for Conquest MMA and Ground Wizards. He holds 3 belts in 3 different organizations, sponsored by Gary's Tattoos in Galena, Illinois. He weighs 168 1/2 pounds. This is our current champion, welterweight champion of Pinnacle MMA, Mark Stoddard.
So a 170-pound bout welterweight
this fight is
title
for 5 5-minute rounds.
So Rick, I think I'm gonna real quick put you on the spot. I always see it with the UFC. They do the Ask the Pros to pick the fight. I'm gonna put you right on the spot here if you don't mind.
If it's standing, I see Mark TKO. If Shamar Bailey gets it to the ground, I think he can grind out a decision.
Okay, yeah, I can't argue with that. No, I know we did see Mark fight an opponent about Shamar's size, and he actually was able to submit him on the ground, but I don't think he was the same caliber.
Yeah, I see he just caught him with a good head kick here. He needs to keep sprawling and keep that hip pressure, maybe stuff the head and back up and get back up.
So you'd like to see him maybe just get back to the feet and keep doing what was working instead of getting in the danger zone here?
Yeah, definitely. Shamar Bailey has his right arm. He's holding it, and he just needs to stuff the head and stand back up.
Oh, you make it sound so easy.
So Shamar Bailey in the red and black trunks, Mark Stoddard in the blue trunks.
Looks like he's going for a choke here. He's got to make sure he has it deep before he goes to his back.
Yeah, if you commit without having that deep, you're going to end up mounted. At worst, I guess at best you'd be in a guard.
Yeah, and you don't want to end up in the guard with a good wrestler like Shamar.
There he goes, did exactly what you thought. Oop.
Nice. Well, he's looking for a takedown.
Oh, he might have him here.
Stoddard with a couple of tough strikes.
He's got him hurt. And there it is, that's all it is.
Referee steps in.
Wow, what an impressive win for Mark.
Mark Stoddard with a couple of solid strikes, followed with the flurry.
Yeah, I think that was all set up with that head kick. I mean, I think that caught Shamar, and he really never fully recovered from it. And then, you're trying to recover, and then someone puts you in a choke. That doesn't help anything.
Yeah, he was squeezing the air out of him.
Boy, I don't know what to do. We keep putting guys in front of Mark, and he just keeps beating him up. So we're gonna have to figure something out here.
Grubb has stopped the fight at 1 minute 44 seconds in the first round. A stoppage TKO due to strikes for your winner and still Pinnacle Combat welterweight champion, Mark Stoddard.
All right, we're here with Mark Stoddard. He just defended the Pinnacle Combat welterweight title. How does it feel to get another win over another big-name UFC fighter?
Feels great, man. I was hoping to get in here and get out here fast, man. I'm ready to talk to all the fans, and, I'm always trying to put on the best fights as I can, and I do it for you guys, so, seeing all you guys out here just makes it that much easier.
All right, let's hear it one more time for our champion, Mark Stoddard.
This is Pinnacle Combat.
Although they have yet to step into the same cage, this fight has been talked about for 6 years. Anticipation is high as Schumacher and Camry finally settle the score with the Bantamweight title on the line.
Adam Schumacher from Dubuque, Iowa. I fight at 135.
I train with Team No Limit, work a lot on our stand-up here, a lot of jiu-jitsu, a lot of strength and conditioning. Pinnacle has always been one of my favorite shows to fight in. Never get any weak competition here. Harry brings in some of the toughest guys you're going to face. I could see this fight ending quickly. We haven't gotten along for quite some time, so I imagine we're both going to come out banging, and somebody's going down quick.
I'm Bill Cameron from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I train with Team Hard Drive. We do a lot of conditioning, a lot of strength and conditioning workouts, a lot of sparring, wrestling, jiu-jitsu. I really like fighting for Pinnacle. It's one of the best shows in the Midwest. It's a chance to get my name out to a lot of fans nationwide. My opponent's Adam Schumacher. It's a good thing it's the last fight of the night because they're going to take a while to clean up when I'm done.
You better be counting on his talent because my condition is not going to let me down.
Stretch out, ice up. It's going to be a war. You better be ready for stitches, concussions, whatever when we're done.
As soon as that cage door shuts, I got one thing on my mind. That belt's mine. Nothing's going to stop me from getting it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for combat! In the blue corner, he is a former Muay Thai national champ. He was a state wrestling runner-up. He's sponsored by Gary's Tattoos with a professional record of 8 wins and 7 losses. Weighing 134 pounds from Dubuque, Iowa, this is Adam Pretty Boy Schumacher. Fighting out of Alliance MMA. He is a 3-time Golden Glove championship, and he has never had a fight go to a decision. He has a professional record of 11 wins, 4 losses. This is 134-pound Bill Cameron.
So this is our final fight of the night for another title, the Bantamweight title, with Bill Cameron and Adam Schumacher. And we are very fortunate tonight. We've got 2 special guests. Of course, Rick Glenn joining us a moment ago. Now we welcome into the booth Jen's Little Evil Pulver. And Justin over here is starstruck.
Yeah. I am. I've been begging Harry to get him into one of these shows for a long time now. I'm embarrassed, but yes,
no,
well,
true.
I
appreciate it. You know, it's one of those things. Now that the fighting is finishing, it's time to start talking. I get to sit in a great seat and watch a fight like this, where you know you can the best seat, and you can sit there on the image and just kind of poke and watch and see what you're going to see, and then they come back after and they get to hear it later on. So yeah. I'd love to be able to commentate and talk about fights.
We'll continue to follow in the footsteps of Pat Miletich again.
Can you believe he turned out to be that boy turned out to be a great talker. Looks good on there. I've always told people I got a face for radio, but you know I can sit on the backside. I got a good voice, you know.
So Justin, why don't you fill us in here on Jen's calling card?
Oh, he's actually the.
For those that are not familiar.
Well, he's fought all over the place in Pride in the UFC. He's actually the first lightweight champion ever in the UFC, so he pretty much pioneered that division. Never lost the title. It was taken from him. I believe maybe some contract disputes, can we call it?
Yeah, I gave it back. That is an awkward Darce, by the way, that Schumacher's trying to work right here. And for a minute, I was thinking, oh my God, is he tapping? Holy Lord, is Cameron tapping? But then now he's the punches, and he's starting to weaken away, and he's going to be able to pop his head up, maybe. And
I asked my regular broadcast partner about those bloody handprints on Bill Cameron's back, and he said he's too scared to ask about them.
Yeah, right? Cameron is putting the fire down right here. Wow, Schumacher was seriously trying to do a lot of good transitions right there. That omoplata that he was working on, somehow Cameron flipped over, ended up on top of him, now is starting to lay the damage down, thinking, how dare you put me in the Darce? All right, you know what? I'm tired of this. Now you're going after omoplatas. I'm going to have to sit back on you and start punching you now.
And this is some years of frustration here. Hard Drive and Adam Schumacher go back a few years. There's no love lost between these, so this is Hard Drive's loving this right now with the Cedar Rapids crowd.
Well, Cameron's doing a great job of sitting up on top, and he's really just starting to punch that face. Too many times in earlier fight stuff, too many guys, they want to go right after that rear naked choke. They want to hurry up and get in there. Cameron's doing the right job, which is sitting back. You're in a great position. Stay high. Don't get too high up on the head. Stay down on the hips and start punching. Punch, punch, punch. You start throwing 4, 5, 6 of those. Now the chin pops open.
And there we have a tap out.
Just like that. Just like Jen Pulver told us. Wow, that was an impressive win there.
Camry, a.k.a. Keith Jardine Jr., looked extremely impressive. Look, you guys like, he does look like Keith Jardine.
We had a Jeff Monson mini earlier with Travis Holt.
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah.
said that. He looked just like him. Impressive victory right there by Camry. I mean, what a way to come off of that again. You know, Schumacher started off, had him in trouble. He jumped in. He was going to do that. I kind of want to look at the replay. And then after that, with the omoplata, boom, Camry popped out, got up on top, and really started raining punches.
Referee Brian Bressler stopped this fight due to a submission by rear naked choke. So let's welcome the winner and the new Pinnacle Combat Bantamweight champion, Bill Camry.
All right, Bill, you know, the show's been a long time coming. I think this title's been a long time coming. I know we had our eye on you for a long time, but your training partner, DJ, held the belt for a long time. So how does it feel to finally get to wear it?
It's good to just have a belt. It's been a long time. Hopefully this leads to more fights, more titles.
All right, any special thank yous out there?
I like to thank my team, Team Hard Drive, Frank's Tree Service, Nick's Bar and Grill, Beef's Tattoo, Mainstream Banners and Signs, mainly just Team Hard Drive and all my friends and family. And Alliance MMA, I had a great month out there with them also. Just all my fans, thank you Cedar Rapids.
All right, real quick, this fight was supposed to happen 6 years ago on an event that wound up getting canceled. He had you that Darce choke a little bit there, kind of a hairy situation. Any of that play in your mind, or you just think about just winning this fight? Was there any pressure from the weight or anything, or were you just out there to win?
Well, the weigh-in sucked. Obviously, I'm not big enough to wear a belt even. Got to gain some weight again. Dropped 10 pounds yesterday, put 12 back on today. Been a long couple days. It's nice to get this over with.
All right, congratulations, Bill Camry, our new Bantamweight champion. Thank you for Cedar Rapids for coming out and supporting our event.
Well, Pinnacle Combat 17, the wait is over. We've put a wrap on it, and this one lived up to our billing tonight, Justin.
Yeah, I think it did. We came down, we have our big arena, we got our big cage, we had some big fights, big night of fights, 4 titles out there. We sending some guys home with some belts tonight. I think we've got a new title town here in Eastern Illinois, Guttenberg, Iowa. 2 of our title fights, our amateur titles, both are going back to Guttenberg tonight with, Nick Pierce and Dalton Grinstead both winning their fights impressively.
And on the pro side, Mark Stoddard over Shamar Bailey. That was the welterweight title fight.
Yeah, that was my pick for fight of the night. I thought this one, you might go the distance. I thought we were going to get a fight where they were kind of banging it out, and we did kind of one-sided. Mark finished things pretty quickly there and looked very impressive in that win.
He stung him quick and, finished it off quickly then with a flurry after that.
Yeah, if Mark catches you, you don't have much time to bounce back, and he proved that.
And also tonight, the Bantamweight title fight. Adam Schumacher got off on the right start, and Bill Camry able to turn it around very quickly.
He stayed busy on the top, and eventually was able to sink in a rear naked choke and win the belt.
So that's going to do it for this time around. It's Pinnacle Combat 17 for Justin Taylor and also Nick Merritt. I'm Dean Michael.